look, I think that LeBron, clearly, we all see it, is a terrific father. I love seeing him with his kids. We know he grew up without his dad, and he's more than made up with it with his sons. So I think he means well. But I really think he needs to stop pushing this. If it's going to happen, let it happen organically. Let Bronny become clearly an NBA player. And I think Bronny's good. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of him, but I've watched him. He's very intelligent, got the court vision, the savvy, the smarts of his dad. Not as big, not as athletic. But you showed it, Jen. He's ranked 34th in his class. Generally, guys at that ranking don't go one and done. And so if LeBron goes one and done, which are the rules right now, 2024 will be the draft class. LeBron will be 39 heading into his 22nd year, I believe, in the league. And so what if Bronny's not ready? It's very possible. He might not be ready for the NBA until after his sophomore or junior or maybe even senior year. I don't think it would be worth rushing Bronny into the league just so that he can get in there when LeBron's still playing and they can play together. I think LeBron's accomplished everything in the league. At that point, put Bronny ahead of yourself. Put Bronny's desires and well-being ahead of yourself. And if Bronny is drafted in the second round, that's not good. There's no guaranteed money there. If Bronny's drafted higher, just so a team feels like, hey, if we get Bronny, we can get LeBron too. And whether LeBron's still playing great at that point, it certainly would be a boom for a box office. The team's going to make tons of money if LeBron's playing there. That's not good for Bronny either. You don't want to be viewed as you're only on the team because they want your dad. You don't want that view in the public, and you don't want it in the locker room. You don't want other players.
What if that's the only way you make the
because
team?
of his dad.
Then
sorry. I don't want it that way. I don't want it that way. If it's already got to be tough enough. It's already got to be tough enough growing up
to be LeBron's
when your
kid.
dad is the great LeBron James. And now I'm trying to make my own name for myself, and I'm in my dad's shadow even more so on the same team. I just think he needs to let him grow and do his own thing.
So listen, I'm very confident that if Bronny ends up, wanting something different than this, he'll tell LeBron and LeBron walk this back. I would imagine they are aligned here, and here's why I think it makes sense. Because I think everything you said about LeBron James Jr.'s draft prospects are accurate. He's only 6'3". He is not a surefire NBA player, which is why, Wilds, I think this is LeBron trying to ensure not only he gets in the league, but has the best chance of success. So I'm going to use an example here. Seth Curry has turned into a very good player. Seth Curry would not be here if the Santa Clara Warriors didn't give him 1, 2, 3, 4 chances. G League affiliate, up and down, Summer League, because of Steph. And I believe Seth, with NBA trainers in an NBA environment or a G League environment, made the most of it, turned himself into a player he was not. And if LeBron knows the league, and LeBron recognizes where his son likely falls. If you're 6'3", you better be a phenom athlete if you're going to be a guaranteed first-round pick. He's a good athlete. He's not a phenom athlete. And so what I think LeBron is trying to do is incentivize a team to be invested in his son by overdrafting him. Because let's say he were draft eligible right now, because we don't know what type of player LeBron's going to be in 2 years, but let's say it was the player LeBron is right now. If you're the New York Knicks and you have the 10th pick of the draft and you're looking at A.J. Griffin from Duke, would you trade? Hold on. Let me just ask you this. Take Bronny out of it. We all talking about LeBron's relationship with the Lakers souring. Would the Knicks trade the 10th pick of this year's draft for LeBron James this summer? If Pelinka called him and said, I'm sick of him. He's always talking trash on me. I'm sick of him. Give us the 10th pick of the draft. Would they trade it for LeBron? I think they would, right? Yeah. Well, that's the deal you'd be making. If LeBron is telling you, if you draft my kid, I come, then just look at it as We're trading the pick for LeBron, and we get his son as a bonus. And then the team is incentivized on a rookie deal to turn the guy into a player eventually. Like, that I think is very clearly what's happening. It's a guy who has used his leverage in every spot imaginable for himself, now using that same leverage for his son. I think that I think it might be the best path, maybe the only path, for LeBron James Jr. to have a real chance at an NBA future.
Okay, but if it's the only path, doesn't that sit a little funky with you? Because I think what we are trying to mimic is Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr., right, Broussard? But Ken Griffey Sr. didn't have his thumb on the scale. And I think you make a great point. But to me, it feels like, I probably side with you, Broussard, that it's 51% thumb on the scale and 49% support.
Yeah, I mean, Ken Griffey Sr., like you said, wasn't a very good player at that point. He was hanging on, and Griffey Jr. was a superstar, a phenom, about to be a superstar. It would be even tough if they played together and LeBron was aging and not very good and just clearly there for his son. I think that would be easier for Bronny to stomach. And I don't want to say I'm not saying there's tension there, but I'm just saying, he's gonna want to be his own man. My father was Superman to me growing up. When I was 20 years old, I didn't want to be hanging out with my dad all the time. I wanted to establish myself as my own man as much as I loved him. And I think LeBron just got to be cognizant of that. Bronny's going to want to, become his own man, create his own identity, not always be in my shadow. He understood it when he said, remember, I wouldn't have named him LeBron again. Well, I just think that Bronny's going to want to do it on his own. And if he's eventually an NBA player, he'll earn it. He can get better.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.